Okay, welcome to week 4. I am super duper proud of all of you for staying consistent. I know there's a lot of people that catch the recordings of these, and so whichever way you're catching them and being able to chime in and tune in and listen, it's a win. So I am kind of a little bit on overload because I've been listening to a lot of content and training and information, and my goal is to put it out to you guys because this is the thing. I'm in a place in my business where I have a role and like I can just do the things and make it happen, right? But that's really short-sighted of me if I have the scarcity of feeling like I don't have time to pop on a coaching call and talk to people and train people, right? I want you guys to be successful. That is like one of my overarching themes and goals with Plexus is to help as many people want to be successful in their business to be successful. And honestly, I've listened to so many trainings over the past 5 years and just put myself in position to learn something. And so I'm super proud of all of you guys to put yourself in a position to learn, because it's not just one training or one book or one, magic message or one like 3-day challenge that's going to be the clicker for you and your business. It's a willingness to be consistent and committed to the action, and also a willingness to continue to pivot and to try different things, right? It's not just one thing. And so I've been listening to Brooke and Emily train because I view myself as a lifelong student, right? I would consider myself a kind of like a colleague of theirs, but I don't put myself above being willing to learn stuff from other people, right? And that's the cool thing, is that a lot of these things aren't necessarily rocket science to me, but it's like the one little tiny tweak. Sometimes it's just a little tweak in wording. Sometimes it's a little bit, oh my goodness, I never even thought about this, right? Maybe it's like, I'm going to host some events inside of a event instead of a group because, all of the posts are in order, or something simple where you don't even think like it's maybe even making a good thing better in light of the events. We were on a leader call yesterday afternoon with girls from our team, and Melody was sharing just some tweaks that she's made to her little events. I know a lot of people are having the great success with those 30-minute Zooms. She's a busy mom, and a lot of her network are busy moms, and so she just kind of tweaked the whole Facebook event idea. It's 20 minutes from start to finish. It's kind of like a mom's night out little theme, and it's not super meaty, but it's working. Like, it's working. They have a couple of people go live in those events, and I think the cool thing, and what I gleaned from what she was sharing, is that you'll have way more success if you're in three-way messages immediately after that event. Do not wait till tomorrow morning, because you won't have the same response rate. People lose the immediacy and the urgency of like, yeah, I want to start this. What do I need to do? Right? So sometimes it's just hearing people verbalize things we already know so that we can be reminded of those things. So it's kind of like going to church, right? We're putting ourselves in position to be changed, to be shrinked a little bit, to have our mindset and our perspectives shifted. Because this is the thing, underneath or behind the scenes of success in our business, that's where our mindset is. That's where our subconscious thoughts are. That's where the head trash is, like all of the hidden things that we do not see in each other or even sometimes ourselves. But once there's an awareness and once there's a verbalization of, and that's why these trainings are important, because we can learn, right? We can learn to do better. We can have the mindset shifts and get the truth bombs thrown at us, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about actually is something that's like in my belly. Some of the notes from Brooke's webinar from Friday, I got to refresh my brain on, but I wanted to first talk through the whole end of the month thing. Have you guys seen the, what was it called? How to Work series that I posted on the Consistency Club page? Yeah, hopefully. So that little system, I think, can revolutionize your organization, meaning like how you organize yourself in your business. I am learning to be a lot more systematic in how I run my business so that it's not just willy-nilly chaos reactive mode, right? But like thinking through just being more organized for one, but saying like breaking the month down into chunks. Okay, first 10 days, middle 10 days, last 10 days, right? And so now we're in this last 5 days of the month push time. Okay, so you need to go back to the beginning of the month and look at what your goals were. Hopefully you had them written down in your planner. I was just revisiting mine just a little bit ago to just refresh my brain about what they were. And I actually wrote down all of the people's goals on my team as well. And so I'm looking back through those to see specifics. Okay, what do we need to do to make some magic happen here at the end of the month? And I will just say it is possible to double in the last 5 days what you've done in the first 25 days of this month. Okay, so we have to think bigger, right? We have to think even outside of the box and think creatively. And so we have 5 days to make the magic happen. And I love this little quote. It says, when you love others well, you sacrifice. And that sacrifice is a sweet reward. My sister's calling me now. That sacrifice is a sweet reward. And just remember, like, I don't know how you guys are feeling. I know a lot of you are going for big goals here at the end of the month. If you feel vulnerable, or if you feel willing to be vulnerable and put it in the chat thread, how have you been feeling? Okay, sometimes you look at the mountain ahead of you and you're like, whoa, I have 5 days to get that done. Not feeling it. Okay, it is totally fine to whatever feeling you're feeling, that's okay. Like, it is okay if you're feeling overwhelmed. It's okay if you're feeling like, oh, is it really worth it? It's okay if you're feeling like, it's go time. Like, I have some stuff, some wins under my belt. I can do this thing. I can press the pedal down a little harder on this momentum, right? Some of you may have had a really, really stellar month in April, and maybe you're riding high still off of that last month. Sometimes the tendency is to actually take the foot off the gas when we have a big momentum month like last month was, right? And so we ride high, but what happens is one incredible month can build on another one, right? And so we can create this momentum. That's how momentum is creative, not like stop and go, but like when we have some wins, actually press the pedal down. It is scary. It feels uncomfortable and all the things. But when you do that, that's what creates positive energy and movement and momentum on your team, in your business, in your life. and when you do that, you have feelings that line up with that also, because you start to have some wins, you start to have some action and see other people taking action, and that creates excitement, joy, passion, enthusiasm, all of the positive things that you want to be attracting into your business. So it's like this little vortex cycle of excitement and wonderful things. So just know that you can make whatever miracle that you're wanting to make happen this month happen. And you will, okay, this is the one thing that I have told people before. Some people will say what one says here it is. What one says is impossible, another will go do. And so my question to myself and to you is, are we going to be excuse makers, or are we going to make results happen? Are we going to be excuse makers and be completely justified? Because you may be in a really busy season in your life, right? I feel like in some ways I could justify myself in saying, you know what, just sit back, let things roll, let it happen. People that are going to go do it are going to go do it. And the others are just going to, sit back and not make things happen. But we are the catalysts that make things happen on our team. Yes, we are in charge of our personal momentum, but we can completely and totally spark momentum, encouragement, a little bit of fuel, right, for the people on our teams. And so I just want to encourage you to press in on the gas pedal and continue. It's hard, like, especially at the end of the month. That's when things kind of pile up. That's when we personally tend to clear our schedule a little bit more. I mean, right now it's a little bit different because there's not as much to do, but we're not doing as many things. Maybe we bump out the date night, or we bump out the family that's coming over for dinner, or we don't stack so many things back to back, right? So we have some free evenings, and this is the end of the month, guys. So we get up earlier, we stay up later, we spend some more time, maybe more blitzy hours doing targeting certain demographics in our organization. And so that's just part of the job, right? So I think sometimes hearing me or hearing someone else verbalize, like, these are the things that we do at the end of the month. That's how you see people hitting goals. Or, there's a post on pre-scheduled on the team page. Someone was like silver or super silver, and then went like ruby or senior ruby, but however many weeks later. or months later. But it was like a short time period. I think it was 60 days. It was a very short time period. But the thing is, those people are willing to put in the hours, right? And that's what it takes. And so I don't want to accept average the last couple days of the month. And I'm committed to working my business and making things happen in my personal business, and also seeing you guys have that massive success also. And so it comes down to faith. Do you believe you can do it? Do you believe you can have it? Is it worth it? If you can believe it, you can make it happen, right? And I would just encourage you guys to pray. I encourage everyone to get their sticky notes, right? Wendy Lawson is the queen of the sticky note little system, which is basically putting a visualization behind the people you're going to help, right? And so if you're sitting there staring at 6 empty sticky notes, it's go time for you. It's time to make some things happen. It's time to have some more conversations. You may have to double time. You may have to put in double the work and effort to make that happen. But this is not 1 day left in the month. This is 5 days left. Okay, we have plenty of time. And so just know that big goals are hard. It's okay to admit that. It's okay to say, it's hard, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? It's kind of like, I remember coaching someone a couple of years ago that just was like such a victim, such a victim. And I remember asking her, like, have you ever run a race? I don't think she had ever run a race, but sometimes you need like a physically demanding hard thing. Okay, having a baby. Have you ever had a baby? All right, you can't give up at the end of having that baby, right? You have to push through the hard part. And so that is the same thing. In a way, it's just a different. It's really like the battle in our mind and our brain, and the decision to put in the effort and the time. But like, make that. Don't quit at the end of the race, right? Don't quit when you're pushing the baby out. That's how you make things happen. That's where grit is. That's when you find out who you really are, right? Because this business is exposing. It exposes our character weaknesses and our flaws. And if we're not willing to show up in our excellence and work on those character issues that all of us have, right? We're going to lack, and we're going to miss out on the opportunities. So all that little pep talk to say, keep the faith, pray, and act. Okay, it's all of those things. It's not just one thing. Okay, so I'm going to get specific here. So if you're taking notes, you can jot these things down. So I would encourage you to take a back office dive, and this has been on my list for a couple of days now. And get in your back office. Don't let your virtual office be an area of avoidance for you. Crack it open and look through your team. So one thing that I do is I sort by team points. And so you can see, if you click it twice, you can see in order of highest points to lowest points, the people that have potential, right? And so actually, I'll read you a message I sent someone. Here it is. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Okay, so I said, hey there. I'm not gonna say who it is because you guys probably know her. You're not that far away from re-ranking to senior gold. Plus, there's the May stimulus bonus on the line right now, $300 to $500 on top of a boost in pay points. Your team is really working hard. So-and-so is rolling, and so is so-and-so. Okay, so I was mentioning specific names. The floodgates right now are open. People are way more open to wellness solutions in this business opportunity. I'm sure you have some inactive people that will restart if we ask them. Would you like me to help you do this? Okay, so that was one of the examples that I sent. I'm still working through sending out some more of these messages, but letting people know, like, I'm here to help you. And she actually messaged back, and we had a good conversation. And so I think that she'll end up, being game. And one thing I'm going to do is just saying, okay, let's message all of the people that have orders this month, and let's check in with them. And this is what you're going to say. And I will send her the specific verbiage of how to follow up with current people, right? Because she hasn't been doing that. The other thing is, if you do not contact your zero PV people, someone else will. And so just know that there was actually someone from her downline that used Plexus a couple years ago, and she's getting re-signed back up with someone else. And so I may actually mention to her, like, hey, there's people in your area that are starting to share Plexus, and they're talking to people that are, were on your team And so if you want them to restart with you, then you need to be talking with them and creating and initiating those conversations. And it can be, the example of that would be, hey, well, a couple of things. I reach out and try to just elicit a response with my zero PV people and just say something simple like, hey, let's see, Libby, I was sitting here and I was just thinking about you. I know a while back you had some specific health goals in light of, getting rid of your IBS symptoms. And I know you were really wanting to lose that extra baby weight. And I was just curious how you're going on, how those goals are going. And right now I'm helping a lot of people restart Plexus. So many people are, really thinking about wellness solutions and wanting to get healthy for the summertime. I was curious if you would be open to getting restarted. Okay, so just sending out a little message like that. The other thing that I have found great success with is sending out a little questionnaire. It doesn't even have to be a fancy one. You don't have to do like some sort of automated response. You can just like send them out a little response like, hey, I would just love to know where you're at right now with Plexus. I'm, looking through things here and noticed you hadn't had an order in a while. So it would really help me actually if you could just let me know. Number one, hey, oh my word, I fell off the bandwagon big time and I need to get restarted on Plexus. Can you help me? Number two, hey, I so appreciate that you helped me get started on Plexus. I appreciated everything I learned and what I experienced, but at this point I'm ready to be done. Just send me the info on how to cancel out my ambassadorship. Number three, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Can you please pray for me? If you private message that to people, I promise you'll get some responses back. And you're never going to get 100% response rate, but at least you have done your job as an ambassador to do the things and to be consistently connecting with the people that you have sponsored into the business. The other thing too is if you know that you have people on your team that are not doing the things, reach out to their people too, because they're on your team and they deserve your attention. So just as a little encouragement, it is totally fine to reach out to people's people. Okay, another one is when you reach out, there's 5 days left in the month. And so you can say something like, and this would be for someone that is on your team that has communicated to you that they're working this business, okay, whether they're, ranked up to Ruby or whatever, or higher, or maybe they're someone that's like close to super silver or close to gold, right? You can say, hey, Amy, how about if we make a push goal? Would you like me to help you create one? We have 5 days left in the month. Curious if you're game. Okay, maybe something like that. And you can, even if they're not close to a rank up, if they are close to a rank, I would lay it out just like Brooke did. I think did I send you guys this? She did some really specific verbiage that was excellent. I can actually post it for you guys if you want, but basically where you're mapping out, maybe for someone that wants to go gold and saying, hey, you currently have 3 ambassadors. And if we can get Jamie going and sharing and get her to enroll 6 this month, she could make between $660 and $690 just for starting 6 people. Also, if you start 6 people, then you would make an additional $560 to $590. So she like lays out the math for people, and then and then says, to be really clear, you could rank up to super silver and gold and earn between $1,200 to $1,400 in May by just doing this. I know your mind is busy with finals right now, but if you want to jump in and work on this together, I'm here. This would be an incredible start to your business. What are your thoughts? So she outlines really specifically the map for people. And maybe you don't have someone that's going to go for super silver and gold in the same month, but even to say, hey, you're only 3 people away from ranking up to super silver. I could help you earn that second May stimulus bonus, and that would give you another $350, plus you'd rank up to super silver, that would give you another $150. What could this income do for your family? Would you like me to help you with this? You see the clarity of the wording in that? I think for me, I have been more like the cheerleader type, like, oh my word, you're only 3 away from silver or super silver, or gold or whatever, but I haven't necessarily mapped it out specifically for people of what they would make and offer my help and support in that, right? And if people are open for you helping them, you need to do an event. It doesn't have to be a Zoom event if that wigs them out, or you're like, well, I don't know. It could be one of those little 20-minute Facebook events, right? But help them make a post, host an event for them, like do something to help them kickstart, right? You will have self-motivated people that'll just go do the things, but you will actually help more people be successful if you have your hand in it. And you're saying, okay, are you ready? I will send you over some examples of what to say. Have you made your list of 10 to 20 people yet? How can I help you? Or, hey, you want to come over Saturday morning, bring your daughter and we'll work through things together. And you sit there and you literally help them make a post. You literally, give them a message and say, okay, we're going to blitz this out to the next 20 people. Okay, so expending the energy will get you results. So I think it is asking the question. So help people map out a plan. This is the danger also, is you can't just be trying to develop people. Everyone that's on this call that's going to be listening, we all have goals, right? And so being in management mode isn't going to move the needle forward as fast as it can if you are personally working your business. And what I mean by that is personally sponsoring and personally sponsoring people, right? Because that moves the needle forward like nothing else. Because if we're not personally sponsoring, we're bringing in. So, whoa. Hang on, there we go. So sponsoring 4 to 6 people. 6 is the new 3. Have you heard that? I'm just gonna say it. It's really important to power 3, right? But I will say power of 3 times 3 is even better. 3 times 2, I guess, doubling that and going for 6. Everyone can do 6. And that's what I'm telling people is every single person on this call and that's going to listen to the recording can sponsor 6. I've personally sponsored 6 this month so far. 3 of them are under my account, 3 under Justin. He has a couple people that he's signing up. And I would still like to get 3 more on my account. So I'm just being full disclosure and saying, I still sponsor people. I'm still in the trenches. I'm still willing to do the first things, right? If we're not willing to do those things, our businesses will not grow. That's the bottom line. And it is scary. Even after doing this for 5 years, it's uncomfortable, right? But I know a lot, right? We all know a lot. Those of you who have done this for any length of time, we have belief because we've seen what the products in the business have done for people. And so that can be our fuel. That can be our reasons, one of the reasons why we continue to share with people. And so let's see. Oh yeah, if you already have 6, this is the other thing too, is don't let scarcity hold you back either. Because sometimes people have the mindset like, well, I'm gonna like save these other people that are on the fence for next month because I'm sure there's some sort of incentive next month. That's not how momentum works. There's always more sunshine, right? Always more sunshine to go around. And so if you have already sponsored 6 and there's 5 more days left in the month, you can still sponsor some more people. And the other thing too, I would say, start asking those 6 people, find out if they're willing to make a post. And this is what I literally say to them. Hey, I'm so excited you got your products. Hey, would you be game for taking a quick selfie with them and making a little post on Facebook if I send you what to say, okay? And sometimes it's that little tweak of if I send you what to say, because if you do not put a little bit of urgency on that or give them the tool set of like, oh, I don't have to come up with a wording. Okay, sure. You'll be less likely for them to make a post. And you may have to follow up with them about making the post also. So if any of you have specific questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Weird. Okay, anyways. Okay, so something else I was going to talk about really quickly. So we're working on mapping out a plan for people on our teams. We're also taking a back off and
yeah.
Whoa. Okay. There we go. Okay, taking a back office dive and finding out who can rank up, who can hit a point goal, who would be game for you helping them create a push goal, right? And this is not pushing people, it's pushing yourself to hit the goal, right? It could be a point goal, it could be a rank up goal. And a couple of demographics to take a peek at would be people that are less than 100 PV. So that's a demographic you need to look at, even not just your level ones, but like down through your entire organization. And then also look at your 0 PV people, right? And so sometimes it's all about being creative, is how can I create twice the results, right? What will motivate people to add more people? What will motivate silvers? And so, let's see. So the less than 100 PV people, a lot of times what I'll say to those people, and this would be like personally sponsored people, because I have a lot of those people that are either not ordering or they consistently order less than 100 PV. So I will come up with some sort of creative way to get them on even Collagen and Joyome. And so here's an example. And I've shared this with a couple of you guys, but saying, you know, hey, I'm doing a little product tester post, or a product tester, sorry, not a post. Hey, I'm doing a little product tester challenge this month. And at the end of this month, and I was curious, and you can even call it like summertime skincare or something like that. You can just say, I am loving Joyome and Collagen, and I am trying to get it into the hands of more people. I was curious if you would like to be one of my product testers. And so asking a curious question, if they write back and say, okay, sure, what do I need to do? And then you just say, hey, all you need to do is go in order, and depending on what their order is, okay, they may need to order Joyome and Collagen to qualify for your incentive, or Joyome may qualify them, or just Collagen. So you can tweak that depending on where their PV is. You can just say, hey, well, just place an order for Joyome, either the 30-day or the 60-day, and I will rebate you XYZ. And you can do a free shipping rebate. You could be like, you know, do a $20 off, whatever fits your budget. But just know that when you do an incentive for your team, you are creating some momentum, you're creating growth, and you are creating a write-off for your business. And so those are smart things to do. And it's all about, you know, getting creative and how to create growth, right? The other thing too is when people try Joyome and Collagen, I mean, they're lifers. So if you have people that are staunchly just triplex only users, your goal should be for them to try a new product. So sometimes maybe you might even say, you know, hey, I know you love your triplex, but I'm doing a little money back rebate for anyone that's game for trying a new product this month. I was curious if you'd like to try Active, Joyome, or Collagen. Okay, so you're getting people exposed to more products. The other thing is, if you can help people stay consistent on the triplex for 3 months and get results, you will have them. They will not leave. So just remind yourself of that. There are certain products that Plexus has that, you know, statistically just show that if they are using those products, they will not quit using those because they love them. Okay, so the other thing is to create a goal for yourself and do not move from your chair until you hit that. What? Oh my word. Hey, don't forget to mute, guys. Anyways, so don't move from your chair until you hit your goal. Okay, so you can write that down on your sheet of paper. If your goal is to sponsor someone today, don't get up from your chair until you get that person sponsored. Okay, keep sending out the messages until you get a yes, and then get on the phone with them, get their credit card information, and put their order in for them. Boom. That's how you make it happen. Okay, maybe your goal is, I need to sit here until I send out 30 messages. I need to sit here until I get all my 0 PV people messaged. Okay, whatever that thing is for you, I'm going to challenge you to do that. Okay, hold yourself accountable. That's how this thing works. No one's sitting there making you clock in, clock out, hit a certain threshold, or what do we call those things? Sales quotas, right? We don't have those things. It's all about you holding yourself accountable. Can you guys hear me still? I hope so. It says my connection is unstable. I'm just gonna keep talking. If you can't hear me, put it in the comments. Okay. This is the other thing, is when you invest in your business, you will create contagious energy and growth. And so yes, less than 100 PV people can be product testers. Another thing is create an email for those zero PV people for your entire organization, okay? Maybe you have people that have signed up people and they dropped off the face of the earth and they don't take care of the people. it is your responsibility to serve those people well and to take care of them, right? And so create an email and find out who is game for restarting, right? Or you can do a texting blitz. All everyone's emails and phone numbers are in the back office, so you can see those. And then if they're like, hey, yeah, I do want to get restarted, then you reach out to their sponsor and say, hey, so-and-so wants to get restarted. And just remember, a lot of people can get cleared out of the back office if they have not ordered in an X number of months and their annual renewal fee hasn't gone through. And so they can sign up as a brand new ambassador by you calling into customer service for them and getting that. So I will just say the floodgates are open. People are restarting right now. There is just a lot of momentum. And if you want to tap into that and capitalize on that, press the pedal down, okay? Don't just let other people show you up and show you what's possible. You show other people what's possible, and to be that catalyst and that example, right? Because your influence and your example in rising up yourself and being excellent at this, it's inspiring to other people, right? That's one reason I keep doing what I'm doing, right? So as I can be a good example and an inspiration to others. It may mean that you have to get up earlier or stay up later, but it's short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, right? It's just a couple days left of the month, so we can make it happen. And you may be in a season of life where you don't have a lot of interruptions. I have a lot of interruptions, and so I actually can get twice as much done in half the time if I work when people are sleeping, or if they're out like hiking or something, versus if all the crazy swirling around me. So, okay. Yes. And it's okay. Do not let yourself feel guilty for working or for doing the things, because sometimes it's just communicating with your peeps, right? With your family, and saying, you know what? Today's a work day for mom. It's going to be a little crazy. Mommy has a lot of people to help, and we're going to make it happen. You guys are still going to work on some school. You're still going to have piano lessons. You're still going to have some fun playing outside, but mommy is going to have to work more today. And so sometimes just prepping them so that they know that, and reminding them of what the goal is. Like, hey, remember how we're going to go on that trip, or whatever it is, or we're going to go out for dinner when mommy hits the goal. So just reminding them of that, and also verbalizing your goal to them. Like, hey, these are the people that mom's going to help, and you can show them your sticky notes, right? And making it visual, because guess what happens when you visualize it and you verbalize it? That sets stuff in motion, like in our subconscious brain. It does. And also when your kids know about it, then they keep asking you, Mom, did you get those people yet? Did you help them get started yet? They'll hold you accountable, and they'll be encouragement to you. So, all right, let me see really quickly. Do you guys have any questions in the comments? Oh yeah, feeling like I need to have conversations with the kids and husband as a reminder. Yes, and you can still take care of your peeps, right? Making sure that you still have meals. Just plan ahead some crock pot meals, or it's okay to do pizza or something fast, right? Throw some frozen veggies with it. Voila! And it's a dinner, and it's fun. And also letting your husband know, like, babe, it's gonna be a little crazy. Like, yeah, let's hang out, and then I got to get back up and go do some work. Okay, so take care of your husband, take care of your kids. There's always solutions, right? We can't let whatever excuses hold us back, because there's always going to be something. Like, life is not going to slow down or get more simplistic for us to do the things, right? So yes, Jenny Allen's book, chapter 14, about complacency. Good stuff. Because yeah, Amy, it's like when you are aware of the things, sometimes it's just like when we put ourselves in position. It could be, in front of a preacher, or in front of you're in a coaching call, or you have a life coach, or you're reading a book, and you're like, you hit my button there. Yes, I'm recognizing that I am XYZ, complacent, or I'm making excuses for myself, or hey, whatever the thing is. 99% of the time I place their order for them, and it gets done quick and products in their hand. Yes. So that's how I move people through the funnel quick. I don't wait for them to like get home from work or make sure they have time, because you know how it is. I would rather someone put the order in for me. That way I don't have to drag up my computer and figure out someone's goofy website, right? And what thing I need to be ordering. It will help you be efficient. It'll help them be efficient. And it's a way to offer good customer service and customer care for them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to webinar 3. which was the webinar from last Friday. And I'm just going to share like my top takeaways from that call. If any of you were on that, you can go ahead and put in the comments. I think Linda is in that momentum movement. I don't know if Libby, you might be also. So if you guys have specific things that really resonated with you and you want to share, put it in the comments or raise your hand or unmute or whatever, because I feel like it's really helpful to hear what resonated with other people. But I'll just say really quickly, here's a truth bomb. Your brain believes what you tell it. Your brain also will lie to you. Your thoughts are feedback. They're not always truth, right? Your what do they say? Your thoughts are not necessarily factual. It's feedback. Okay, so just remember that. And so they were talking about, let's see, they were talking about boundaries, or focused work time. Yeah, we've already kind of discussed that a little bit. Specific goals, kiddos in the mix, right. Yes, we were talking about sitting in your chair until you get your enrollments. If you're working on that third enrollment, sit in your chair until you make it happen, right? And just expect, like, this is the thing, expectations. Expect the end of the month to be a little crazy. It is a little crazy, but that's okay. If you expect it to, then it's not like this big, like, overwhelming thing. And the other thing is, if you are taking more days to make things happen in your business, then it's not as overwhelming. If you wait till Sunday and you're trying to get Sunday dinner, you're trying to get off to church and like helping people, it's going to be crazy town. But if you're starting now and you're working early, or you started the last 10 days of this month to do the end of the month stuff, then you're not feeling the feelings of overwhelm. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Instagram and Facebook because they shared some things that I thought were really fabulous and really phenomenal. And so a couple of things that they talked about was being your authentic self on social media, okay? And so Emily was saying that she had paid for followers, there's a lot of things that you can pay for, pay for leads, pay for followers on Instagram. But she was saying it doesn't really matter if you have 50,000 followers. She's like, what matters is that you have people following you that are interested in you. And she said 50,000 followers doesn't necessarily lead to signups. She's like, I would take 1,000 great quality followers that want to be your followers any day and have people getting signed up than 50,000 followers just so people can be impressed by your account, right? And she also said when she had a coach for her Instagram feed, she's like, I was such in a box. She's like, they didn't want me to post about my kids. They didn't want me to post about, she's like, it was like a complete branding thing. And she said, so you need to release the influence expectation. Like you have to be this huge influencer. She's like, influencers don't make that much money. She's like, Plexus people can make a really, really massive, lovely income. And it goes back to being your authentic self and sharing what you find interesting. They said focus on connecting, authenticity, adding value. And they said it doesn't matter so much about the number of followers that you have. Let's see. And there's a whole world. Okay, they were talking also about this idea like Facebook's tapped out. They're like, that's not true. And Emily was like, I just signed up some people from Facebook recently. And so we have to release the head trash around the fact that, oh, Facebook's old. You have to be on Instagram in order to get new people and new influencers. There's a lot of different ways to make this thing happen. And so if you are just starting out and you are mainly doing Facebook right now, that's fine. I will say it is important to get on Instagram and kind of create a presence there. And so I don't remember how long, it's probably been about 2 years. I got on Instagram. I'm like, okay, well, I need to get on Instagram. And Jessica Heffley challenged us probably 6 months to a year ago. She's like, you don't have to be perfect at it, but she's like, show up every day in your stories and start sharing your life with people. And that's what people are attracted to. And I think stories are kind of the new thing. And so if you're not making Facebook and Instagram stories, start doing that. One thing that is helpful to me is a lot of times I'll make my stories later on in the day or even at nighttime, like when I'm winding down. I work my business like in the morning, like from when I wake up to like 10 a.m. And then I do a switch over with Justin and 10 or 11, he takes over, or wait, I take over and do school with the kids and that kind of thing. And so we have this like little switcheroo that happens. But in my like concentrated work time, I don't want to have to be figuring out what I'm posting in my stories, right? To me, the stories can happen, you know, later on in the day when I'm cooking dinner. I can be talking to people and making little stories. Or if I want to go search, like, okay, I need a story about Joyum and collagen, you can go search that little Instagram resource page, sorry, Facebook page that has Instagram stories uploaded into it. You don't have to be a fabulous graphic designer in order to get great stories, right? Go to that group, save the little graphics, post them into your stories, right? The other thing too is you don't want to just be posting everything all at the same time, right? Because it disappears in 24 hours. So you want to kind of be sprinkling it, not always at the same time, and be like, okay, I'm going to upload 30 stories right now because I forgot to do it earlier today. So my encouragement to you is like, well, at least for me, what helps me is doing that type of work kind of in my off hours. My go time hours are specifically like morning time, when I'm really working through messaging certain demographics of people. Maybe I'm messaging potentials, I'm following up with potentials. Maybe I'm messaging my 0 PV people. Maybe I'm messaging my less than 100 PV people. Maybe I'm following up with customers. Maybe I'm sending out welcome texts to my new ambassadors and my 1 through 3s. Okay, so I have to compartmentalize who I'm messaging at a particular time. I can't do this, okay, message 2 of these people, 2 of these people. I'm a divide and conquer person. So if it's a specific group of people that I'm messaging, my brain works better that way. So I don't know if that helps you guys, but that helps me. And in light of Instagram and Facebook, just know that there's no box. You don't have to fit into a box. It can be your creative little outlet. And the other thing is too, is content design or creativity. If that's not your jam, it's okay. You can go look at creative people and glean ideas from them and then take their ideas and run with them. I a lot of times will go follow, what's her name? Brooke, but Bridget Ryan. She has great ideas for stories. She is consistently posting their life and what they're doing, and then sprinkling in some Plexus stuff. And then she'll go live and talk about these all natural supplements that she uses. Or she'll talk about, you know what, there's a little stimulus this month, a big stimulus this month. Actually, I should rephrase that. There's a lovely stimulus this month that Plexus has put out. And so she'll just chat about that for a few minutes, right? And so I think it's that consistency of showing up, but sometimes my brain, I just don't have bandwidth. I'm like, okay, what do I post? I need to post something. Give me something. It's okay to use other people's ideas and then just tweak them to make your own. I will say also, the more personal you can be, it's fine to do like a hashtag testimony Tuesday or, you know, hashtag wellness Wednesday, a little theme like that, and use other people's stories, especially if you know someone in your life that has XYZ health issues, and you'd be like, boom, I'm gonna post that for them, hoping they see it, right? But I also say there is huge value in you going live, sharing your story, sharing why you work the business or why you're sharing with people. There's huge value in you even posting your testimony. Maybe you've shared it, but when was the last time you shared it? Make it a little different. Maybe tweak the one that you did 2 years ago and make it into a bullet point form where it's a lot more readable. Add some emojis, put a new picture with it, boom, you're done. Maybe now you have a kid that has a testimony, or you are like, oh, last night I realized that I posted, sometimes when I go live in a group for someone, I will post like my business testimony, my full health testimony, Justin's testimony in the comments of that. And so I saw his picture, and then his like tiny little testimony was like, boom, I'll make that my post for today. Okay, so sometimes it's just a matter of like even reformulating content that you've already created. So work smarter, not harder. Okay, one of the things that they did talk about with Facebook events, I don't know if you guys use Facebook events, but the cool thing about those is that, is my internet kicking you guys off? I guess my internet wouldn't. I see people like coming in and out of the call. Maybe Zoom is just being weird today. Anywho's, events are a little different than groups, because an event, you cannot pre-schedule the posts, but every post that you post will be in order in which you post it. So I thought that was a kind of cool idea, because they stay in order. And also when you invite people to that, they get like notifications and updates and reminders before it actually goes live. The other thing that they said is they ask the person that they're hosting the event for, what Who are your friends that are coming, and what are their specific health goals? Because then you can tailor the event to people's specific health goals that they have. So I thought that was a really great idea. And now you can actually do like a dual live and do a Facebook chat room inside of a group. So that's what we're going to do on our event on Thursday night. That's tomorrow night for that business event. So it kind of looks like Zoom, how we can see all the people, but it'll be within a Facebook group. So that is a really wonderful tool to utilize if you have not done that yet. Here's a truth bomb for you. You can write it down. Adapt and evolve or die. Okay, we have to be willing to change and to try new things, right? If Zoom's not working, boom, we're gonna pivot, and it may make you mad, and you may be like, I'm so frustrated with this thing. Pivot and do something else. It happened last week on our event. It was like I was so like, oh my word. Because you have people waiting on you, like we're going to lose people if we're not like Johnny on the spot. But sometimes technology fails. Sometimes my skill set fails, right? And so we have our beautiful brains to help us get creative. And this is the thing. It's kind of like the gift of the struggle. If it was easy, like what merit is there in something easy, right? We have to be willing to like do the hard thing and figure out a creative solution, right? We're figuring out creative solutions right now with juggling business, juggling kids, juggling marriage, like all the things. And so that's the beauty of this, is we get better. Okay, they were talking about Facebook Messenger videos. So maybe instead of a Zoom, if it feels too formal, just if it's Amanda and I did this with some of her people, where it's just me, you, and the potential, and you just chit chat. It can be on Facebook Messenger video. I think you can have 3 people in that. It could be FaceTime. It could be Zoom. But just know that there's this is kind of a hillbilly slang little saying, but my dad would always say there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can do it different ways, right? And figure out what works for you and what works for your team in that particular season. If the 3-day events are starting to be like blasé, dead in the water, then you say, okay, I need to do something different, right? And so for the next 90 days, we're going to be doing 1 hour, basically condensing the 3 days into 1 hour or less, okay? Because people's attention spans are short. We're busy moms. I have trouble plugging in for 3 days in something that I'm even hosting, right? And the other thing is I know that in the summertime, people are just busier. I remember the 3-day event last year I spent time, working on in August, and it was so incredibly dead. I don't know if anyone paid attention to it, but I wanted to host it. I wanted to keep that consistency, but sometimes we have to pivot. If we feel in our gut that something's not working, it's okay. So, smaller is more effective. And they were just saying, it strokes your ego when you have whatever, 25, 35, 75, 150 people on a Zoom, but they're like, but does that really convert people? No, it's the small little intimate events and, coffee shop type meetups virtually is where you find success, right? And so it's okay that there's smaller groups, because that's where the success lies. And there's a little saying I like to think about: do not despise the day of small things, okay? Because the small things all add up. It's that slight edge principle, right? Okay. Oh, and they were just saying flying by the seat of your pants, like that's sometimes the best way. Is it really choppy? I'm so sorry. Oh dear. Maybe my internet's being weird. Okay, anyways, I'll just keep talking. I'll just trust that you guys can hear me. Oh yeah, Amanda had an event last night. It was fabulous. I think sometimes we think, oh my word, 15 people said yes, so there should be 100% of people that are on at that time and not just sign up. That's not the way it is usually. And so if you have an event where you are able to sign up 1 or 2 or 3 people, that's a win. That is a huge win. And if you have no one show up to your event, like I've hosted Zooms and no one showed up before, guess what? We get better at telling our story. We get better at doing the things. And the lovely thing is you can actually record the video and then you can send it out to the people that said they would come and then didn't show up. And then you can follow up with them. So, okay. Have you guys come up with any specific questions? I'm just kind of sharing from the webinar. So yeah, there's not a one size fits all. And so sometimes you just take one idea and enlarge on that and say, you know what, I'm going to do these this month, and this is what we're going to work on. And there's a lot of tools, but just go with your gut. Like sit there and think, what does my team need? Don't worry so much about like what everyone else is doing. When it comes to, when you boil it down, you can learn about all the things what everyone else is doing. But if you're not doing anything because you're stuck in the state of like all the ideas and overwhelm, is not going to create anything for you. And so sometimes it's just trusting yourself and be like, you know what, I'm going to try offering those little Zooms, those little health Zooms to my happy wholesalers and see if they have anyone that would like to learn about Plexus and hear my story. And sometimes it's just trying something, right? Okay. One thing, or is anyone on here that feels like you're really good at developing to silver, but then not anything beyond that? I wrote some tips down because they were talking about that. And they said, basically, we struggle developing people past silver a lot of times because we haven't cast the vision for anything beyond that. And so I think it goes back to what questions are we asking, and also finding out what people's goals are. And so if you feel like you're in that boat, I would look back at what you're doing or not doing to see how you can tweak something, how you can make a little bit of a pivot or shift, or just go back and ask them like, hey, I know we got you to silver last summer, but what are your thoughts now? Have you thought of anyone else that could benefit from Plexus? You know, be willing to have that open conversation. And this is the other thing, is helping people dream bigger. So maybe you have someone on your team right now that has 16 people, right? 16 people consistently ordering, and you're like, you are only 4 people away from gold, right? And so one thing to keep in mind is when you go gold, you want to have at least one person that has gone silver, if not 2, okay? Because just recruiting the world isn't going to grow your team. Duplication is what's going to exponentially multiply the people on your team. And so in making yourself go through this system of asking the question, hey, who do you know that this could benefit? Do you know of anyone? And this is the thing, is you can help people help their people. You're basically introducing yourself into their network, okay? Because you have more of a skill set than them. So we can't expect everyone to just by osmosis go silver because they see what we're doing. That's what I thought people would do. When I first started Plexus, that's what I assumed. And yes, it did raise up the people that would do it, probably because that's what my focus was. That was my mindset. But I also missed out on a lot of people because I wasn't willing to kind of get in the trenches and ask the questions. But I didn't really have that skill set back then, so I'm giving myself grace for that. But you guys can learn it quicker than I did, okay? But this is the thing, is sometimes you have a vision cast where people like, okay, well, the person that's going to add, so if you have 16 people on your team, or 6 people, whatever the number is, you're like, okay, I want to get to super silver. That's 10 people. Well, maybe the one person that's going to go silver isn't actually on your team yet. So you got to go sponsor 4 more people. And probably from those 4 people, you will get someone that would say, okay, sure, I'll make a post. Oh, and like, it's not a big deal to them. Like, you're like, oh my word, yeah, my mom will totally do this. Oh yeah, I think I can get my sister, and yeah, I'll call them up. Sure. And then you'll have someone that goes silver, right? And helps you bump up. And so you start to see like, okay, this is how the momentum can start rolling. And if you're thinking in your brain, oh my word, I could never be Ruby. Oh my word, if I could just get Ruby, oh my word, like that monthly income, like what a blessing that would be. But maybe you're feeling like, I don't know if I could do that. Think of it in terms of gold. That's 5 golds on your team, okay? And when you think through like 20 people, we all have 20 people in our life that could use Plexus. I don't care where you're at in your business at this point. I have 20 more people that I could help, right? And so I could make myself go gold again. We have people on our teams that are just joining that could totally help 20 people, right? And so this scarcity mindset of, oh, who would do this? We have to eradicate that from our thinking, because that was my thinking for a long time. I legit thought, who would actually do this? I thought that about the products, and I also thought that about the business. I have proven myself wrong, thankfully, but just know that sometimes we have to really kind of state the obvious to ourselves and to other people to be like, you know what? You can go gold. You can think in terms of golds. And even your little sticky tabs, why couldn't these sticky tabs designate different colors, could designate different ranks? right? So if you want to develop 5 golds, make gold your yellow color, right? If you want to develop 5 silvers, maybe hot pink or blue or something, and put it out on your whiteboard or somewhere where you can visualize the duplication process that will happen on your team. Here's a truth bomb also. Rapid growth with duplication is the name of the game. I have seen people come into this and maybe they had a massive health testimony of some sort, either weight loss or whatever, mold, Lyme disease, whatever, and they get a lot of people on their teams really fast. But if you do not have duplication, you will not go forward. You will not grow forward, right? And so it's really, really important. Developing leaders is where residual income is at. And it doesn't have, you do not have to have rock stars on your team. If you have steady people, thank Jesus for those people, okay? Steady people, that's where it's at. I would much rather have steady, consistent, solid growth and move at a slower pace than have flash in the pan people that, you know, can quickly add 100 people to your team, but then they're gone as fast as they came, okay? So just know that it's okay if your process takes a little bit longer or your growth is a little bit slower, because then when the people do come that can add people really fast, you will have a more of a skill set to know how to help them, because sometimes the fast growers that can add a lot of people to your team really fast have a lot of attrition. And so you can help on the front end of that by even equipping them for that, or by having them introduce you to their people, so there's a third party teamwork effort in helping people stay consistent. Okay, I'm going to share something about retention really quick before we top off, because I have another call. But I want to talk about retention really fast, because this is the key. Also, besides duplication, retention is the key to consistent growth. Jessica Heffley has told me, and this has stuck with me, 3 keys to retention. Number 1, help people have good results on their products. That means we're in Messenger, we're using that follow-up system. If you haven't seen Emily Gibson's video about follow-up, go listen to it. I also have the verbiage in the PDF uploaded to the files of the One Team page and in the Consistency Club. Read through that, educate yourself. You can get better at following up and helping people have success and troubleshooting on their products. Pick up the phone. I know it's uncomfortable. I love phone conversations, but they work. Okay, so phone relationship, right? Phone call, troubleshooting on the products, helping them have success and results. Number 2 is help them earn a paycheck. They don't even have to necessarily go silver. If you help them go silver, statistics show they will be with you next year at this time. But even helping them make a little bit of money by helping them sign up one will retain them. And the third thing is plug them into culture. If you hide away your people from the rest of the team or from your sponsor or whatever, they will not get plugged into Plexus culture, and they won't see like, oh my word, there's something to social proofing, meaning they see other people doing it with them. They see other people asking questions. They see other people having success, right? So just know that there are 3 keys to retention, and a good start means a good finish. Meaning if you start people well and you expend some energy and some time on the front end, it's not just about a quick sale. It's like, I want to help these people truly have success. And that will take more energy from you, but that's the way to build correctly, because guess what's going to happen? They're going to duplicate that type of customer service that you showed to them. And customer service equals love. So just know that. Okay, yes, your back office is a tool, so utilize that. If you're unfamiliar with your back office, do not let that hold you back, because that is a tool that you can use. I can't keep everything in my brain. I have to use that tool, right? And you can print out reports from that if you're a pen and paper person. And just know that people stop and restart all the time. And it's okay to get them reactivated, right? Start asking the questions and stay their friend, right? And stay in communication with them, because even if something is not working or their life is just not in alignment, they're like, oh my word, I can't do this right now. They'll swing back around, okay? So just know that you'll have a percentage of people that come back, even ones that have quit. So that's why it's important to continue to blitz and even relationship building, like go comment on their stuff, okay? It's not just about a one-time sale or you making money. I know we all know that, but just so that they know that, right? Because if you foster that relationship, they will come back to you when their daughter has eczema, or they have period issues, or they have like, oh my word, I remember Megan talking about that omega. I think I need that now, right? So Just know that. Oh goodness, I gotta pop off. I still want to talk about a couple other things. They did chat about incentives. So maybe I'll just pop on and do a live about that because I think that was really good. I guess I did talk a little bit about incentives. But I will follow up in a live video because we've been here for about an hour already. Thank you guys for popping on. It is recorded, so I will get this up. Yes, yep. I'll get it up, and or Amanda will get it up. Amazing Amanda, that's how she's programmed into my phone. Amazing Amanda, because she's awesome at stuff like that. Okay, guys, thanks for popping on. There's so much content. I guess it's because I'm trying to train on 2 or 3 hours worth of information in 1 hour. So I will follow up on live if I feel like there's some valuable information that we didn't cover. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for popping on. Bye, guys.